Good morning. Hello. I had a little bit of time before my next client, and so I thought I would jump on and do a live feed. Hey, Amy. And just hello, Chloe. Talk to you guys a little bit about the workshop that's coming up, but also do some readings as well, of course. So if any of you guys have got any questions about the workshop, please feel free to ask them here. So there is spots available for this Saturday's workshop. Sunday is sold out at this stage. That is for the one at Bonnells Bay. Now listen guys, I am looking to confirm one more person for the 24th of April, and then I will go ahead and run the workshop in Sydney. This particular one will be down near Liverpool. So if you're interested in doing that, please let me know. Please let me know. I'm also, that's all right, I will text those. All right, beautiful. Happy, joy. You can ask anything, but I do not do pregnancy, legal, or health readings on the live feed, so please just keep that in mind. I'm not going to answer, I don't know, anything. I think everything else is pretty cool. So yeah, just no pregnancy, no legal, no health questions. Now I'm just going to scroll back up to the top and grab the first in lines, and then I'll catch up. So as usual, please feel free to comment more than once. If I do happen to miss your question, that is all cool. I don't mind you commenting numerous times. Guys, please show me some love while you're here. It takes 2 seconds to leave a thumbs up or a heart on the video, and it helps with my algorithm, helps getting me out there, and you're helping support me as a small business. So yes, please while you're here, leave a thumbs up or a heart, especially if you are asking for a reading. Always feel free to share. But yes, thank you guys. Much appreciated. All right, Tiffany, let's have a look and see. May I have a card, please? Absolutely. All right. Okay. All right, Tiffany. Oh, beautiful. You've got some really good cards. So I want to say to you, there's a shift coming up around you, okay? I feel like things have been a little bit stagnant going back and then just sort of moving forward. It's like today's, I don't know where you guys are, but for example, today the sun's shining, you know, and it's the first time in a few days. And this is really similar energy. It's almost like the clouds are starting to part, you know? And so what your cards are, they talk about being positive and that your attitude is a choice, okay? I know you can't see the cards well, it's a habit to hold them up. So what this card talks about is that even in that storm, or even when we go through challenges, the way that we hold ourselves, the way that we keep our perspectives and our attitudes, it matters and it helps. And so this is where it says, you know, your attitude is a choice. And so keep bringing that positive energy around you. Now, trusting in your intuition a little bit more. Tiffany, I want to say to you that fear feels like too big of a word that I want to use here, but for the context of it, you know, fear to move forward and rip things apart and make changes and all of those kind of little bits and pieces, we can tend to keep ourselves in our comfort or what we know. You're being kind of guided, and I feel like you're getting some intuition around changing things up a little bit, you know, and just if I move this over here and if I let that go here, then things are going to move better. Trust that energy around you, okay? You get the beautiful freedom card that comes straight afterwards. And that includes that release, but it also talks about self-love and determination as well. So, Tiffany, you've got a really nice energy that sits here with the cards, and I literally just keep wanting to push everything out of my way, but I'm seeing it as grey clouds and perhaps a little bit reflective of the last few days, but definitely symbolic for the point that I'm trying to make. So, Tiffany, I hope that that helps. Definitely go with the flow. Don't be afraid to bring those changes in. Don't be afraid to call people out, and don't be afraid to kind of pull everything apart aside from you so that you can see down the middle and see what it is that you need to do. And this clutter that's on the side is what you need to be looking at, okay? So, Tiffany, I hope that that helps. Thank you very much for joining me today. It's always a pleasure to have you here. All right, let's keep going. Nick, I will grab you too. I would love a reading, please. All right. So guys, it's been a really good couple of weeks of events. I was at Katoomba last weekend. So this weekend is the workshops, and then the following is the Easter show, which is very exciting. So yes, and you'll also see as well the platform events are back. So if any of you guys are interested in coming to a platform event, I will be doing those up around here at Lake Macquarie, but absolutely down around other places as well. I do believe my next location first up will probably be Gosford. So yeah, looking forward to that. Pretty cool to be back doing the platform. All right, Nick, let me focus on you. I say to you, be mindful of yourself, and in that regard of let ourselves become run down, overthinking a few things, getting a little bit stressed out around us, and letting that energy kind of drag us down a little bit, just a little bit melancholy. And so I just want to say to you, Nick, just take some time to, even if we only get several hours or several minutes to ourselves, but making that time count towards ourselves. I feel like, how do I want to word it? I feel like when I sit with my feelings right now, I just feel a little bit, as I said, I'm going to keep with the word melancholy that's there. And so I want to say to you, just brush that energy away. I know it's not so, it's easier to say than it is to do, and absolutely keeping it in context as well. But just create that time, tapping back into your power, even just a nice meditation session that connects to your guides and, let them remind you how loved you are and things like that. It's that sort of energy that sits around you. Interesting, when I pull your cards, you've got the female card. Now, what this card talks about is that the energy has to come from within. So the changes that we want to see, the things we're trying to bring in, the things we're trying to manifest, yes, they may very well have to bring in some external forces, but it's your internal energy that's actually going to bring those things into place, okay? So don't wait for things to come in. You need to go out and actually get them, okay? Especially on those current shifts of which we reflect. So you've also got the trust card, which talks about self-trust and self-belief, is being that point where it all begins. It builds that beautiful foundation for us to hold our own strength and our own personality and, move forward with all of that courage and conviction. And so, as I said, just taking a little bit of time back for yourself, re-tapping in and going, you know what, actually, hang on, I forgot a second, but I am actually freaking awesome. Okay, so you've got the intuition card that sits there as well, and it's about trusting your psychic senses. It's nice that intuition is following through with the feed so far, especially workshops on the weekend, but absolutely just trusting that psychic senses and challenge yourself. How many times do you hear yourself call, I told you so, or I knew that was going to happen? So just paying a little bit more attention, and I want to kind of hand you this big, beautiful ball of white light to shove in your chest and just, expand your power, all right? So, Nick, just, look after yourself a little bit and just remember how awesome you are. It's going to shift things back to where they should be, all right? Back to where they should be. All right. Sun is coming out. We have a full sunny day here. You're very welcome. What are you talking about? Nice. Okay. Leanne Wilson. Leanne Wilson, I'd like to pull cards for you as well, please. I'm not sure if I've read for you before or not, Leanne. Alright, just going to focus on what it is that you need to know most right now. Cards are jumpy. Hang on, 2 seconds. Irks me if I can see it. Alright, Leanne. Okay, nice. So when I sit with your cards, you've got the balance card, the healing, and the improvement card. The balance card, it talks about, the description I put there is like the yin and yang of life, okay? So I always try to hold the cards up. So the balance, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, all rest and all of that energy that's there, but also it's that wider scale, which is why I've talked about the yin and yang of life, not just, balance around work and play and everything else like that. It's literally that side of the scales. Now, you've got the healing card, which talks about being patient but allowing the healing to come in, and that very much can reflect around with with balance, sorry. So when we talk about healing, we can sort of move forward and go, I've moved on from that situation, or I've healed from that situation, but when we look back, there's still anger and there's still resentment and there's still, feelings and emotions that get aroused, and you're absolutely well entitled to have those feelings and emotions. However, stop and have a think about what that does for you, that anger, that resentment, those feelings that are there, because that other person or persons or situations that's caused those feelings, they're not sitting back going, oh, they're feeling bad, gee, I better too. They don't give a rat's bum half the time, and so we've got to draw that strength and energy back for ourselves. And so it's, when we talk about forgiveness isn't about saying what you did was okay. Never, ever, ever. It's about saying that I no longer choose to be a vessel for those emotions. I'm going to move forward because I don't deserve to carry that anger, that hurt, that pain, that grief, that loss. Okay, and so just give a little bit of food for thought around where that healing lays for you, and absolutely always reach out to somebody, whether it be another psychic or a counsellor or any counsellor. We're getting too big in it. I'm just making you sound like you're broken, and it's not where I want to go. But what I'm just trying to talk about is that sometimes rattling off those things with someone who can give a different perspective helps. Okay, and that's all I kind of wanted to draw in from that statement. And so you've got the improvement card that comes straight after, which talks about improvement of self and situations. And so overall, I wanted to say to you, Leanne, that the balance that's there, as I said, just reflect. Have a think about that healing of what we spoke about. And once you sort of sit and balance that and just rework things a little bit around, as I said, you're going to see improvements of self and situations. Okay, so if there's that little bit of a cloud that's hanging over, it is going to clear. It's just going to take a little bit of work on your behalf, all right? So, Leanne, I hope that helps. Thank you very much for joining me today. I absolutely appreciate you being here. Absolutely. All right, so guys, I am here for a reason as well today as of that, so bear with me please, but the Psychic Development Workshop on the 27th of March still does have some places in it. It's going to be an awesome day, so whether or not you're looking to develop because you're interested for your own personal reasons or actually want to become professional, this is a great workshop for you to start with. Now, I've been absolutely fortunate to study and train underneath some of the best psychics and mediums in the world, whether it be from the Arthur Finlay College or from those based locally here in Australia or America, or even probably a couple of others if I found it. It's really important that we as psychics keep this industry really good, keep high morals, high ethics and everything else like that. And that's why I train to such a high standard. So if you're looking to become professional, this is definitely the place that you want to be. But if you want to just expand for personal reasons too, you are absolutely more than welcome, okay? The day is a long day. It's from 10 till 6 p.m. You're definitely getting your value for money. The investment is $200. And the day is full of practical exercises and also some education and guidance as well. So if you've been thinking about doing it, take this as your little sign to come and join us. If you are in a different area, this one is in Bonnells Bay, please send me a message and let me know, especially if you're interested for Sydney. I am looking to put one on the 24th of April, but because it is the Anzac Day weekend, I'm looking to confirm numbers before I actually release. I do have to pay event hire and all of those kind of little bits and pieces, so I just want to make sure. So guys, that's one little spiel for the moment. If you are interested, please come and join us. You are going to have a fantastic day. Okay. Let me just catch up with the comments. Where are we at time-wise? Look at 9. It absolutely is great value for money. You spend $200 on a workshop and you can make that back in a day. So it is absolutely awesome value. I've spent thousands of dollars on my training and I know for a fact that this is good value. All right. Just going to catch back up time-wise a little bit. Scroll back up. Beautiful. Okay. Melissa, sorry. Got quite a nice energy around you, and interestingly, the Unity card falls out. Just I'm looking at your profile picture there, and that for me always talks about, when you see just that real true love, the older couples and the good old gentlemen and bits and pieces. It really represents the pureness and things like that. And it's just interesting. I was watching it and that fell out. So I just wanted to talk about that. But let me pull some cards for you. Okay. I hope you guys, if any of you are in the flood affected zones, I know that my mother is still isolated and trapped out there at Castlereagh. Hopefully you're all keeping safe. Interesting. Okay. So when I pull your cards, Melissa, you've got the Be Positive card, the Joy. You've also got the External Conflict card. So I wanted to kind of follow the story a little bit and see where that goes. Now, interestingly, you've got the Unity card back out. So Melissa, what I want to say to you is that be positive. Your attitude is a choice. I'm not sure how long you've been here for, but I'll just explain quickly that it is that, like, whenever we have challenges and things like that around, we also have a choice in how we choose to sort of perceive and to react and act and all of those energies in between. And I know it's not as simple as going, yeah, okay, I'll just be happy, but we certainly have the energy within ourselves to try. Okay, and I do feel that nice positive energy around you. I feel like you're a half class kind of full person. So then the joy card comes in, and what that talks about for me when I'm looking at that external conflict card, it's like there's been a little bit of dishevelment that sits there around, but just keep your attitude nice and high and keep pushing through because it is going to pass. Now, when I continue the story, you've got the changes card, which talks about just being open to embracing change. So some of this external energy may actually be causing some changes. When I do sit with that, I'm hearing work, but I'm not sure if it's actually attached to you or your partner. I actually feel a little bit more drawn to them in that regard, okay? So if things have been jumping up and down a little bit like that, that's what they're saying, just hold fast, okay? Now you've got the Unity card, which I explained actually fell out when we were pulling it. And again, it just talks about that truth, that love. And so I want to say that there's a beautiful support through this and that you can kind of be really nice and secure that everything's nice and solid around, okay? But there's still some questions coming up because you've got the leaf card, all right? I know you can't see it, but anyway. It talks about the answers are blowing in the wind, there's lessons within. So what that talks about is that as you move forward, you're not actually going to have everything that you need to know because there's still some lessons along the way. So don't let those lessons make you feel like you're on the wrong path. They're not, they're there to teach you something, okay? So when you follow that through, yeah, you got to just be mindful of yourself because you are secure in your life and choices, but some of this energy may actually be pushing you out of your comfort zone, but that's okay. Just push through it. We need to let go of what no longer is serving us because in life sometimes shit just happens. But when we take all that in, you end up on the transformation card. So when I pull the full spread for you, that's where you end up, okay? Yeah, that's a full spread. So, Melissa, I hope that that helps. I just want you to keep sort of moving forward. This balance that's around, as I said, is going to bring some changes in, but you've got a nice solid support around. Make sure you use your voice through the process, but just know that you are secure. And as you get pushed out of your comfort zones, let go of what no longer serves, okay? Shit happens. That card that comes out, it literally is that shit happens card. It just talks about the fact that, you know, in life sometimes shit happens. It doesn't mean we did anything wrong. It doesn't mean there's necessarily a solid answer to why. But it just means we have to accept it and keep moving forward. Okay, so Melissa, I hope that that helps. And thank you very much for joining me today. Okay. What time? What? Shelby. Awesome, Shauna. Also, I'm looking forward to the course. It's going to be fantastic, honestly. It's exactly the kind of course that I wish that I had way back when, but it's all cool because I've got it now. But yeah, it's going to be an awesome day. Absolutely. All right, Shelby, let me focus on you. So I would love a reading, please, if you are drawn to me. Okay. Shelby, I want to say to you, bring a little bit more self-belief into yourself. And it's funny because sometimes I catch my words and you hear my hesitation because I know that the words are easy to say and not necessarily always easy to do. But you've got this really nice strong energy when I look at you, and I just want to say that you're not, not that you're not, okay, but that you're still on that path of growth and bringing in your energy. Don't be afraid to grab it. You feel to me like quite a humble person, and a little bit of ego is healthy. A little bit of ego is healthy, not a lot, but just a little. Keeps us grounded, but also keeps us pushing forward. Okay, so interesting. Okay. All right, Shelby, when I sit with you, okay, you've got the cycles card, which talks about beginnings and endings are in natural order, all right? And then you've got the worry and doubt card, and you've got the external conflict card. When I keep continuing your story, because you've got the external conflict card as well, it brings actually in a change of luck. You just need to make a commitment to move forward and focus a little bit more on the bigger picture. So, Shelby, when I'm sitting with you, I do feel like something's gone out, okay, or something's threatening to go out. Don't be afraid to let this cycle evolve as to where it needs to be, okay? If it was meant to be solid, it would be. All right, and if it's not, don't be afraid to look at the reasons why. Don't be afraid, as I said, to bring that energy in. Stand a little bit more on your own ground, okay, and let yourself be heard a little bit more. When we talk about worries and doubts, I always say just take one step at a time. You know, we can have 10 things that are coming in and overwhelming us, and if we carry those 10 things at once, it feels like we're carrying a house. But if we sit down and go, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, and so on and so forth, and deal with one problem at a time, then we're not having to pay attention and focus to those other 9 things that are hanging in the background. It doesn't mean they disappear, but it means that we can sort of deal with all of this energy here on this problem, fix that, and then move on to the second, okay? And I think we all know when we try to do 10 things at once, we only kind of give 10% of energy to each of those things, okay? So just have a little bit of a think about that with your worries and doubts that are around you. This external conflict, as I said, I do feel is quite attached to another person or persons, okay? Let it flow. Have a look at what the situation is, what it is. If it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's a duck, okay? And you need to trust in that. Once you do, as I said, you get that change of luck, energy shifting for the better. Don't be afraid to make the commitment to move forward, all right? You need to look at the bigger picture beyond long-term moments in self, okay? And that means don't make choices that are easy for today. Make choices that are right for tomorrow, all right, Shelby? So a little bit of work that sits there for you. Yep, nice. Yep, nice. Yeah, nice. So if I continue pulling your spread, you've got the Spirit card, which talks about the fact you've got lovely support around you, but then you get the Sunset card. There's something trying to close out around you. This card talks about the end of an era, okay? And trust. Trust what the signs are trying to tell you. All right. So, Shelby, I hope that helps. Thank you very much for joining me today. I always appreciate it. And I hope that you are keeping safe as well. All right, guys. Please, while you're here, takes 2 seconds to leave me a thumbs up or a heart on the video. Much appreciated if you do. It does help with my algorithm. Okay. Karina, let me pull a card for you. Getting a lot of flippy cards today. I'm going to tell you what you're pulling because I've got a feeling it's relevant. It's because you've had 2 cards flip over. So you've got the moving forward card, which talks about moving towards better things, but you're caught in your own head around it because you've got the internal conflict. So yeah, I'm going to pull you some cards, but it's just interesting for those 2. I feel are relevant. Completions, yeah. Let's have a look. All right. No, I only got 2 cards. All right. Okay, so when I sit with your cards, as I said, you heard me what I pulled out through the deck, okay? So when I actually pull your spread, you've got the dead end card, which talks about the fact that there's something around you that's not working. And I want to say to you that when we're true to our heart of hearts, we actually know this as well, even if we don't want to. But this way simply just does not work. You've got the dead end, okay? And so, but I actually pulled 2 cards out at once as an accident that's there. So you've got the support card that sits right there behind it, okay? And they just want you to know you're not alone. And for me, this card very much talks about the fact that there are people around you that have got your back, okay? I know that sometimes we have different levels of friendships and all that sort of stuff, and, you know, the trust levels waver. And I want to say to you that there's some people around you that you can absolutely trust, all right? So lean on them for support. Then you get the Sunset card, okay? And again, that talks about the fact that it's an end of an era, it's an end of a way of life, there's a new way coming in, all right? And so not to be afraid to embrace that. And just to take 5, you've got the regroup, recuperating, rest, being mindful, all of that energy that comes in around this card of taking 5. And it just means look after yourself. It's be mindful around your health. In life, yep, shit happens. A little bit of patience as this transition. I feel like there's a little bit of it's funny, I'm getting all water analogies because it's been raining the last few days, but they're literally showing me having to stand there with a broom and push the water away as it comes up the pathway, you know, and just keep slushing it out. And so just being patient with that because it's like as we sweep out a bit more shit comes in and we've got to kind of push it back again. So don't be afraid to just keep sweeping. You feel what the heck context means, okay? Then you get the improvement card, which talks about improvement of self and situations. A little bit of healing, so whatever's happening around has got a lot of emotion involved with it, but it follows straight through with the joy card. And I use the word joy because it's that beautiful balance of harmony and happiness and love and all of that energy that sits there with it, okay? Just to finish the spread. Yeah, nice, okay? So a lot of uncertainty around, confusion and doubt and clouded judgment. However, you are leading to the beautiful freedom card and you finish on the unity card, okay? So a lot of strength that will fall in around you. So just take into mind what I've said. I've pulled your full spread, so we're at 24 minutes 50 if you want to go back and listen again. But there is something around you that is not working, okay? There's a new way that wants to come in. You need to not be afraid to let that go. As I said, for the most part, for me, when I created this deck, you understand what that energy is, all right? And just to know that in life shit happens, but if you keep pushing through it, it is going to clear away. and you're going to end up right where you want to be at the end. Okay, so don't be afraid to let the process unfold, and don't be afraid to take some calculated risks through that. All right. So Karina, I hope that helps. Thank you very kindly for joining me. Belinda. All right, guys. So while you're here, if you haven't liked my Facebook page already, please do so. Also, don't forget that the workshop, the 27th, still has some places in it. Guarantee you're going to have an awesome day and walk out of there absolutely having a pretty good idea of where your psychic strengths are and what you can do next to continue to develop them. And the Easter show is coming up. Awesome. Going down the big slide. All right, Belinda, let me focus. Belinda. All right, so I pulled you a full spread because you've got an interesting 3 cards. So you've got the Unity card that comes out first, but then you've got the Self-Denial card and then the bigger picture. So what I want to talk to you about, when I actually look at your cards and sit with your energy, I want to say to you that you're holding this, there's something you're not trusting around, and like Unity and Self-Denial, I want to couple them 2 cards together. So the Unity card talks about love, relationships, and trust, and all of those kind of little bits and pieces. The Self-Denial card talks about self-sabotage, being, refusal, stubbornness, and all of that sort of energy that's there. But it's a very gentle energy because you're in denial, like self-denial. So you're sacrificing things for yourself. You're not running on ego. You're not running on anything else. You're actually, losing out because of that self-denial. And so what I want to say to you is that you have that ability to trust. You, even though you maybe had a few kind of rows to hoe in your time going back, you've got the skills, and the skills isn't the right word, but I'm going to keep it anyway. But it's that thing that within inside of you, your gut intuition and everything else like that, that has shown you where you can trust. Okay, and so I want to say to you, kind of trust in yourself a little bit more to trust what's out there. Okay, and looking at the bigger picture beyond long-term self and moments. So even if that means making some big decisions around a relationship, I want to say to you, just have a look and see how you feel. When that bigger picture card comes out, for me, I'm quite a kind of in-your-face person in regards to looking at things. So, what I want to say is looking at that bigger picture is how the things are right now, what you want forever. Okay, and if not, then we need to do some work in around that. And as I said, in the middle of it all, you're not getting everything that you deserve in it. And so when I continue your journey, okay, you've got the alarm bell card talks about it's time. You know it and you feel it. You know it and you feel it. And so you've got the yes card and the no card. So the yes and the no card in my deck, basically when they're pulled out into a full spread, if you get a yes or a no card and you just happen to pull both, then the yes and the no is the 2 things. So yes, you absolutely need to focus on this, and no, you need to not let this happen, okay? So on your yes card, you've got the take a chance, okay? Now, taking a chance talks about nothing changes if nothing changes, all right? And so you need to take a chance and make some shifts and changes and see, but not to get caught in your own head so much around it, not to bounce back and forth, okay? So when you bring in that perspective and take that big breath, then you get the change of luck card, which talks about energies will shift for the better and your goals are not impossible. And beautifully after that, you get the growth card, which talks about, personal growth and opportunities and reaching that potential. It's that tree of life energy that sits there with it. So just to continue on to your spread, you've got the health card, which talks about the fact that you need to be mindful and think about the long term. And it doesn't just talk about physical health, but it talks about mental health, spiritual health, emotional health, mental health, all of those kind of things that are there. Think about the word disease, okay? And it's a good thought for everybody. Disease, dis-ease. It's dis-ease in the body causes disease. And so that's why when this health card comes out, it's not just about physical, because those diseases in all of those sections there can bring about, things that we don't want, basically. So be mindful, all right? That's not a prediction there. I want to be very mindful around that. This card talks about just being mindful of that so that we don't run into those issues, okay? You've got full of worries and doubts, but just taking it one step at a time and just make that commitment to move forward. Make that commitment to move forward. You're not going to regret it. All right, so Belinda, I hope that that helps. There's a lot of energy within that. Your reading's at 30 minutes and 15 seconds if you would like to come back to it later and watch again. So Belinda, thank you very much for joining me today. If you haven't already, please like my Facebook page and please leave a thumbs up or a heart on the video. All right, guys, I'm here for about another 10 minutes or so because I do have clients the rest of the afternoon. Yeah, oh yeah, I know. Amy, I know. You're part of the section that I'm waiting. I had a bit quick of a chat yesterday to her. So let me know because I do have other numbers on the other side. So basically just waiting for people to confirm, yeah, I can come. Doesn't need to be a full workshop for the Sydney. I'm happy to come down when it's half full. I just need to make sure that I can cover all my costs. So yes, have a think about it and let me know if you're coming. All right. Awesome. Thank you, Karen. All right, let's have a look and see what it is you need to know most. You got the alarm bells jumping out. Something around you. You're feeling it. It's time. All right. And just, I guess I'll say it. It's in my head, so I'll say it. The workshops, the psychic development workshops, absolutely we can touch on cards while we're there, but it's more so about tapping into your psychic energy. The cards are a beautiful addition to that energy, but it's great to be able to work without any tools. And so, yes, bring the cards along, but the day will definitely be focusing on energy as opposed to tools. All right, Karen, let me focus. Sorry, I can say the thoughts as they go in my head, otherwise they get stuck there. All right, let's have a look and see. Okay. You got the health card that comes out as first. So it just talks about, again, paying attention, thinking about long-term, happiness, mental ability, all of that strength that come into the health side of things, okay? So just being mindful of that. Now, there's a reason why that gets talked about. So if I sit with your cards in depth, okay, you've got the health card, you've got the shit happens card, you've got the sunset card, and then your jump card was the alarm bell. So when I sit with this, I want to say to you that there's been some stuff going on around, and it's stuff that you haven't necessarily brought in for yourself because that's what the shit happens card represents. And it is affecting you, okay, in whatever concept or aspect that comes in. We're in a public forum, so I'll keep it general. But, health, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. All right, so just having a think about it, just knowing that in life shit happens. And as I said, it doesn't necessarily mean that it was fair or that we did anything to deserve it, but that it happens. And we just kind of need to make sure that it doesn't become that big thing that defines us. It's just a speed hump that we go over rather than a mountain we've got to climb over. Now, you get the sunset card that comes in straight after that, okay? Which, as I'm not sure how long you've been here for, but as I said, it talks about the end of an era, okay? So for me, I always think about the Easter show, funnily enough. It's, big day at the fair. You've had a good time, but you've worn shoes that have made your feet sore. You've probably eaten a bit of garbage the day, so you're not feeling so great. And at the end of the day, you kind of sit there and go, you know what? There were some really great parts in that, but I'm tired and I'm worn out and I'm ready to move on, okay? And so that's what that card talks about. And so just letting that flow through, be positive. You're going to see some improvements coming in. But you've got to also remember that nothing changes if nothing changes. So don't hold on to what no longer serves you. There's a picture that goes around and it's about, it's a hand holding a rope. And you can see that they're holding on for dear life and this rope is causing all kinds of injury. And that's what it talks about. That sometimes holding on is actually harder than letting go. Okay, so just be mindful around that. Making the commitment to move forward. And just standing strong in that energy, okay? Just be mindful of your worries and your doubts. Don't get caught too much in your own space because you are secure in your choices and you are secure in your life, okay? And you've got the beautiful spirit card that comes out as your final card, okay? Now, when I was making this deck, the spirit specifically asked, they said they wanted a sign. Okay, so when this card comes out, it is a sign from spirit that they are around you, okay? And I want to say to you, actually, Karen, that you get a female energy that comes in around you. It's a very motherly energy. So I'd say it's connected to your mother's side, but I feel more so like a grandmother than a mother energy that comes in. She's not She's not a tall person. She's got that beautiful white silvery grey hair, and I feel like she does keep it set to some degree. Don't want to be too fancy with that, but you understand that setting in around that's there. And I feel like there was closeness in this relationship, but sometimes there was a little bit of logistical distance, I feel, within there. But she comes in around with such love and warmth for you at the end of that. And I just want to say to you that you've got beautiful support, so don't be afraid to move forward. All right, so Karen, I hope that helps, and thank you so much for joining me today. I go to those who I'm drawn to, so if I can't say your name, I'm still going to pull you out. So please, all respect if I don't pronounce your name properly, but I do believe it's Shakti. If I'm not saying your name properly, please forgive me. As I said, I'm still drawn to your energy and would like to read for you. All right, let me just pull some cards and see what it is you need to know most. I just want to give the cards a good shuffle. Lots of you have been asking about whether or not this deck's going to be available. Now that COVID's starting to ease, I may be able to get it printed soon. There's a half update. I never actually made it to print, which is why I didn't really think about it. All right. Beautiful. Okay, so you've got the worries and the doubts card, the intuition card, and you've also got my leaf card. So what are your cards talking about? Worries and doubts. Again, I'm not sure how long you've been watching for, but taking one step at a time. I always think about it like a pie. You know, if someone hands you this big pie and says to you, okay, all your problems and worries and doubts are all in this pie, and once you eat it, you'll be all right. And you look at this big ass pie and you're like, oh my God, I'll be sick if I try to eat all that in one go. And so chop it up, into 8 slices and have one for breakfast, one for morning tea, one for lunch, one for afternoon, one for dinner. And by the end of the day, you've gotten through, and obviously we're not talking about all your problems are going to be done in one day, but you get what I'm talking about, okay? Breaking things down and dealing with them one thing at a time, it makes them so much easier to manage and it doesn't overwhelm us so much, okay? Now, you've got the intuition card as well, which talks about trusting your psychic senses. And you've also got the leaf cards, okay? So what this wants to say is that even though there's some worries and doubts and challenges that you're working through at the moment, it's really important that you trust your intuition and you trust your gut and you keep moving forward. This card talks about the fact that there are still lessons on the path, okay? So you need to move forward. You're not going to have all the information that you need to be able to move forward. You have to gather this along the way as well because there are lessons within that, okay? So it also means that the path's not going to be just this nice big sliding, yeehaw, and we're off. It's also, got to be stopped with its little speed humps along the way. But pay attention to the speed humps. They're not blockages. They're lessons that are there, okay? So there's a lot of learning, and I want to say to you that this journey feels like it's over the course of like around 6 months. Now you've got the change of flux, so this is moving you to where you need to be, but it's really asking you to pay attention to what it is that you want, what it is that you are hoping to achieve in this life and where your purpose lays. Again, you don't need to have the answer to that, but you at least need to be on the journey to find it, okay? Have a little bit of patience with yourself though, especially considering there are still lessons to come into play, okay? But yep, it's nice you get the freedom card. You just need to believe into yourself. Frustration. It's funny because your spread talks a lot about having to wait for the answers and things like that, but then your other cards come out going, no, I want it now. And I'm giggling. Because it's like, yeah, I'll be patient. Keeping yourself nice and grounded and knowing that the strength and the changes and everything else you're trying to do need to come from within because you've got the female card. But it is important that you let go of what no longer serves, all right? You've got the detox card that sits there. So within those worries and doubts and working through those challenges, make sure you're letting go of what no longer serves, okay, so that all this beautiful energy can come in. And at the end of it all, you're going to actually feel like there's a shift of work around with you, and this may have something to do with business, but I want to go forward. But when I sort of sit and see at the end of this journey that's there, everything's quite different, and it's in a nice, positive way. So I hope that helps. Enjoy the journey, but have a think about what I've spoken about through that. We're at 39 minutes 44, if you would like to listen again later. Okay. Alina Hocking, I don't do pregnancy readings on the lives, but I will say to you, painless. Come on. I can giggle. Look, I wanted to say relax and breathe. Relax and breathe. You know your body and listen to your body through the process, okay? And I want to say to you as well, don't let people tell you what position to be in and everything else like that, all right? You listen to your body. You let your body be the guide, all right? And you're going to be cool. You're going to be cool. But yeah, let your body be the guide. Don't worry about being polite or anything else like that. You want to be on all fours, you be on all fours. You want to be on your side, be on your side. Don't let them tell you to be in the position that is easiest for them. You do what's easiest for you. All right, Amanda, sorry, I just wanted to jump in to answer that one. All right, let me focus on you. Amanda. You need to, you've got a really big heart. You've got a really nice, loyal energy. But however, when I sit with that as well, I want to say to you that what you do for others sometimes slows down what you can do for yourself. So just be mindful where your energy is looking over. Your mum, yeah. Okay. All right, so keep that energy. All right, you've got 2 cards, Amanda. Sorry if you got caught out then, but I'm back with you. So be mindful, okay, because when we spend, as I said, you know, you've got that big generous energy, and when you look after everyone else, you're not looking after yourself necessarily all the time, okay? Now, there's some changes and shifts coming in around you, and I feel like these were things that you're not necessarily orchestrating yourself, okay? I want to say to you, though, that it does lead you into somewhere good. I feel like there's a significant change. You know, like, for example, I'll just pick something generic. So we've been working at Kmart, and we got made redundant, and we weren't expecting that. But all of a sudden, we find ourselves kind of open energy, and so we're like, oh, hang on, I was thinking about doing that course, and isn't it funny? It starts in a week. Great, I'm going to jump onto that, and all of a sudden, the doors open for the next stages to fall into place. As one door closes, another one opens. You know, it's that sort of energy that sits there around it. So I want to say to you, keep nice and strong with your fierceness and your determination through that. All right, but when I sit with your cards, you got the uncertainty card, and it just says be positive. Be positive. As I said, you've got some uncertainty around you, and I pulled these 2 cards out at once, which is why I'm giving them to you together. You're uncertain, but they're saying it's all cool, just be positive, okay? Your worries and doubts, I'm sure you've heard me explain that card the last couple of times. It's there, so just keeping everything into perspective. But there's a transformation that's coming on for you, okay? The blossoming into true self talks about the fact you've got lots of lovely support around you. Just look after yourself. Look after yourself through the process. You got the take a moment card, but I noticed you got the self-care card as well. So they're definitely looking after yourself, and that's what I'm saying. There's so much love that comes from you towards others. I'm hoping that there's enough that's coming back to you, okay? So have a little bit of a think about that. Looking after yourself is not selfish. It's something that we all get locked in our head. Yeah, see, you got the cycles card, which talks about beginnings and endings being a natural order, and that's what I'm saying. I'm feeling that there is a bit of a turnover for you. So you've got the shit happens card, and that just talks about the fact that it's just part of life, okay? Don't let it become anything more than what it is. Okay. So you've also got the sunset card that's there. So as I said, something's trying to close out around you, okay? Confronting fears, it's going to make you a little bit uncomfortable, but it's all cool. You're moving on towards better things. You just need to trust your intuition through this process, all right? So overall, I want to say to you, breathe. Bring in your own energy back to yourself, okay? Make sure you're doing for you before you do for others. And I know, as I said, that sounds selfish, but it's not. You can't do for others to a capacity if you're not doing to yourself to capacity, okay? Go for the flow. It's going to be a good ride, all right? You're going to end up, as I said, one door closes, another one opens. And sometimes as that door closes, it smacks us on the ass and we think, holy cow, you know, what's gonna go on here? What's happening here? But then all of a sudden you're like, hang on a minute. You know, the universe is looking after us. And so the universe looks after us in mysterious ways, and trust that this is one of them, all right, Amanda? So I hope that helps. You know what's funny, Alana? That's the 3rd time that's come up this week, and it was funny because I was just going back to my other reading as I was talking to Amanda as well this week, and it's happened to me. Like, I wouldn't be doing what I was doing right now if I didn't get I'm trying to think of a nice way to put it, rooted up the bottom from where I was coming from. You know, I was working full time, and you know, different circumstances and everything else like that, and I got to see where their loyalty laid, and it certainly wasn't with me. So, but it led me on to something bigger and better. So I'm forever grateful for that. Just sucked at the time. But Amanda, I hope that that helps. And again, thank you so much for joining me today. All right, guys, I'm going to do 2 more readings, okay, because I do have another client in 20 minutes and I need to clear the energy. Oh, you're absolutely welcome, Karina. Absolutely welcome. Rhonda Roy. Okay. So, guys, just remember the workshop on this Saturday, especially for those of you that are looking to become professional and want to be at the top of this industry, then this is the workshop where you need to begin. Hope that you can make it, but yeah, the 27th and there's Sydney, the 24th of April. I'm sure you have heard me gibber on about those, but I'm very excited. All right, Rhonda, let me focus on you. No, so I've heard that song. That's what comes into my head. Just listening to it for a second, making sure there wasn't. Okay. So, Rhonda, when I sit with your cards. All right. Okay, so when I sit with your cards, I just wanted to see where the story was going a little bit. You've got the internal conflict card, which talks about being caught in your own thoughts, okay? But then you get the healing card that comes into it. Now, what the healing card talks about is being patient, but allowing the healing to come in. And healing also involves forgiveness. And forgiveness isn't about saying what you did was okay. It's about saying that you no longer choose to carry this pain and carry this burden, and that you're going to start working towards letting that go. All right. Now they're really asking you to think about this and think about the long term and pay attention to what these feelings and this internal conflict in your head actually does for you, and working through that to find a way to kind of be more clearer around it. Once you kind of do that, and you know, like I always say, that speaking to somebody like myself or somebody else that you trust can really help with that situation. Sometimes talking out loud lets us listen to our own thoughts and our own words, and we kind of get our answers as well. Okay, so just I don't feel that you're lost within that journey that's there, but always reach out if you need to. So you've got the moving on card, which talks about moving towards better things, okay? So just having a think about that first part of the reading and then allowing that to come in. You also get the freedom card that follows straight afterwards. Now you've got the frustration card. That's that, oh, why should I have to? Because sometimes in life that's just the way it goes. So not to let it, just work through that energy, okay? Now you've also got the card talks about, you know, you need to take a chance here. Nothing changes if nothing changes, and you know it's time to be open to embracing the changes that want to come in. You need to trust in yourself, but you need to let go of what no longer serves, otherwise it's going to do it for you, okay, in a not a fantastic way. So once your final card though is that joy card, okay? Be open to letting that in. Trust in yourself. Trust in yourself and your ability to bring that energy in, because it very much wants to, all right? So, Rhonda, I hope that that helps. Thank you very much for joining me today. Your reading's at 48 minutes and 19 seconds if you'd like to listen to that again. Yeah, you've got a beautiful energy that sits there with us, so make sure you're looking after yourself as well. All right. You are absolutely welcome, Amanda. All right, Julie. Last reading for the day. So, guys, as usual, bucket out. As I do this last reading, please leave me a thumbs up or a heart if you haven't on your way out the door. I will be back through the week to do some more live feeds. I've been missing my opportunities on Friday nights, which is the reason why I thought I'd take the chance today. But other than that, thank you very much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you all here again. So, Julie, let me focus on you, please, now. Last reading for today. Okay, so Julie, you've got the heartache card, you've got the patience card. Everyone's needing 4 pulls today. 4 pulls. All right, so Julie, when I sit with you, okay, so you've got the heartache card, which talks about challenging matters of the heart. When then you've got the patience card, and then you've got the bigger picture card. So in context of there, it's talking about, you know, there's things that we're working through at the moment, and I know they're hard, but we need you to keep kind of pushing through with them. We need you to keep looking, just keep moving through them, looking at the bigger picture, make decisions based on what's best for tomorrow, not what's easiest for today. Okay, and you know what? I kind of want to take that easiest for today because it doesn't feel like you're just taking the easy way out here at all. Okay, it feels like you're really kind of trying your best to be true to yourself and to everything else around you. So you've got the worry and doubt card. That's obviously been one of our big cards today as well. But again, just talks about taking things one step at a time. I think you've probably heard me describe that enough times. Now, beautifully enough, you get the transformation card that comes after that, okay, which talks about, there's this time in this life, it's taking you to somewhere more beautiful, all right? And so that transformation card that sits there, you just need to trust in your psychic senses. You've got the cycle card that comes in as well, which talks about, again, beginning and endings just being a natural order, okay? But you are going to see improvements of self and situations, and interestingly as well, you get the money card straight after that as well, the prosperity card there, okay, which talks about financial growth, security, abundance, all of that kind of thing. So that's what I'm saying. This is pushing you to a good place, all right? You've got the relief card, so there's still some answers and challenges and lessons that are going to come in along the way. Just stay connected to yourself and be mindful of not procrastinating, okay? Do not create delays to avoid action, all right? So I want to say to you that for whatever's happening around you right now, keep pushing through. Keep staying true to yourself, all right? This is bringing you a time that is actually going to bring in something bigger and better, all right? So even if it's just little challenges around you, just know, as I said, that they're there for a very specific reason and they're teaching you valuable lessons right now. So embrace them, learn from them, and it's going to take you to the next beautiful place that you're meant to be. All right, Julie, so I hope that helps. Guys, again, thank you very much for joining me today. It's always a pleasure to read for you. Please book into the workshop if you've been thinking about it. Other than that, guys, I look forward to seeing you again. If you can't be good at it. Bye.